Hi, I'm Meadow Linn. This is SAVOR, the cooking show on the Bon Bon Network, and today we are going to enjoy the most delicious treat. But a little backstory. A number of years ago, I was diagnosed with a gluten and dairy sensitivity, and I was devastated. My entire life, I'd actually quit my job just prior to that to devote my entire life to my passion for cooking and eating. And part of my identity was to eat anywhere and anything, and suddenly I was restricted. I was one of those people who had to have the asterisks after their name. Somebody who, went to restaurants and had to give a litany of things they couldn't eat and ask questions. And it was really challenging for me to move forward into this new world where it didn't fit with who I was. But then I discovered that actually a lot of the foods that didn't contain gluten or dairy, I actually found were even more delicious, and I felt better. So it was a win-win. And I live in Southern California, and a special treat in this southern part of California is something called a date shake. It's a milkshake, but instead of using strawberries or vanilla or chocolate, they use dates, which grow in the southeastern part of California. So today we are going to recreate my favorite date shake, but in a gluten-free, but in a dairy-free way. So we're going to use raw cashews, which will add that creaminess that we would normally get from cream or milk. And then of course dates, and these are medjool dates. They tend to be the juiciest ones, and they'll give us the most flavor and succulence. Some ice, that'll give us the icy part rather than ice cream. And then we'll also be using a frozen banana. That will also add to the creaminess, the extra flavor, and just add that extra oomph. And 1 cup of almond milk. This is purchased almond milk. It's a lot easier, but if you want, you can make your own almond milk. It's really easy. You soak 1 cup of almonds overnight. Then the next morning, rinse them, put them in a high-speed blender with 4 cups of purified water. I like to add a pinch of salt and a soaked date, which makes it a little softer. And the date and the salt, not necessary, but they help to recreate the flavor of milk because cow's milk tends to be actually a little bit salty and has a natural sweetness to it. Blend it till it's all blended and then strain it through something called a nut milk bag you can get online for about $10. I've also heard a clean t-shirt, even clean nylons. I've not tried it, but I've heard that works. You squeeze it through that, save the pulp, use that as a scrub in the shower, and you have homemade almond milk. But if you want to make life easy, you can use store-bought. Okay, so let's get our blender. This is a super easy recipe. We add the 1/3 cup raw cashews, our frozen banana. I like to break into little pieces, makes it a little bit easier. Then our dates. Dates have a pit in the center, so you'll want to remove that. Toss those in. Add the ice. And you'll want to do it in this order. It will make the blending process easier. And we add in the almond milk. Put the lid on. You know what, my fingers are a little icky. I'm just going to rinse those off. All right, let's go. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty well blended. And I might actually even add a little more ice sometimes if I want it extra icy, really if it's a hot day. But today we'll have it like this. So you can customize to whatever works best for you. And this makes enough for one really full, delicious serving for one people, or if you feel like sharing, it would be 2 small servings for, so you could share. And let's try. Oh, it's so good. I feel like I'm on the coast of Southern California. I can hear the waves crashing. So delicious. I'm Meadow Linn, and thank you for joining me for this episode of SAVOR, the cooking show with the Bon Bon Network. Enjoy your delicious day.